Hello, everybody. Welcome to your first episode of the Alter Ego podcast here in the wonderful future of 2021.
Feels so different.
Yeah.
It does feel a little different.
They will hear this in the future. Right?
Slightly.
Right?
About 3 days in the future.
I missed you guys. I missed you. How are you? How's everybody doing? How was your Christmas and your New Year's?
New Year, a little great. I was with you.
My Kwanzaa was excellent.
It's Kwanzaa.
Shalom.
That's
What?
the wrong. No, Mark. Nope.
Do you celebrate Kwanzaa?
No.
No, of course.
I don't
He
know.
came in and got his present, and I was like, "That's for Kwanzaa." He's like, "Why? Because I'm black." I'm like, "Yep."
I don't know. He said it like it was real.
He was convincing. I've known his wife for so long. There's no way.
No.
She's definitely a Christmas celebrator.
That doesn't mean that you can't do both. If you
Well-
grew up celebrating Kwanzaa, you can do both.
Okay,
This is true.
you're being weird.
Right. I mean, is that not a thing?
So,
Don't
Mark,
people
how
do
are you?
He's like, I don't even care about Kwanzaa. I don't know why this is a topic of discussion
Yeah.
today. I
For
was
those
doing
of you that
okay,
do.
but like I came in today and we got beef.
We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
You and I?
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
can't
Me
wait.
too.
Because I came in, I did not see a Tupperware with any type of leftover brisket in it at all. What happened?
It's all at home, and it's still
That's
delicious.
not here.
Yeah. So you guys can stop by on the way back to your respective abodes and get yourself some brisket.
Okay.
It's really good.
A few days ago, but whatever.
It's been in the fridge. It's
That's
good.
true.
Yeah, for everybody at home, I made a brisket for I guess just I don't know. I was
Football
planning to make it
Just
for the
for
football
shits and
game,
gigs?
and then I forgot I had golf that day, so I played golf and then got home. Was like, this will be fine. Throw it in. 9:30. It was. I got home at 1, and I it wasn't ready till 9:30, 10.
You never pick golf over brisket.
I forgot the golf. If I'm being honest, my brain was so focused on the brisket. But anyway, you know who else loves brisket? Ford Supply Company.
Ooh. Is that a new
And
scent?
I have asked them for a new ad since we're going into 2021. Haven't gotten it yet, but I will.
Have you actually asked them?
No, this episode of Alter Ego is sponsored by Ford Supply Company, makers of all natural and organic soaps for men with scents like tropical teakwood, citrus IPA, cypress pine. Visit their website at FordSupply.com to order online and use promo code Alter Ego and get 10% off your order. Ford soap, real soap, no bullshit. Is that true? They can still get the 10%? Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Good deal. Good
Is
deal.
the,
Mark's our liaison.
Citrus is good because it is a citrus beer soap, so citrus is nice.
Yeah. Citrus IPA. Anyway.
If it's not sold out, get your hands on that cranberry.
Oh,
Yeah?
I hear there's not
it's
much left
good.
of it.
Ooh.
It is good.
You like the cranberry? I'm still working on the pumpkin one.
Ryan bought a log of cranberry, I hear.
Yep. Gave some away as Christmas gifts, but
Nice.
You got some good smelling families.
the coffee is also awesome.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm using right now, too.
I wanna try that
I
one.
ran through all
We do
the-
wanna try
the-
that one for
the
sure.
seasonal ones, and I'm back to coffee.
Nice.
We're still struggling to get through the seasonal ones. We've only gotten through. We're actually not even all the way through the first Christmas one. We
Yeah.
We started with frostbite.
That
and
seems
we
like a
still
hell
have
of
some
a
pumpkin
value.
ones. I know. Last
Sure
forever. I
was.
love it.
And I love the experiment I received, the beard oil that
Oh,
a
top
beard
secret.
balm. Yeah. No, you can't have it. Yes, it's because I'm a double F celebrity,
Look how good my beard looks.
not
right now.
A-list.
It's
It
just
looks good. If I'm being
wonderful.
honest
It's
with you.
just-
Did you use
It
it?
feels great.
So
Yes.
when's the
Oh.
goatee bomb coming out? For those of us that don't have
Just a
full-blown
pinch
beards?
for Ryan.
Yeah,
We
for
only need a
sure.
little bit, so change up the
Just
formula
needs
or
a pinch.
something.
He's going to look like Salt Bay over there doing his beard. Just a little pinch. Yeah, a little pinch of seasoning. You know who else uses a pinch of seasoning?
Who's that?
Tony Anello's.
Oh,
Tony Anello's Southern Italian Cuisine and Grill's a hidden gem that's family-owned and operated on the outskirts of St. Petersburg at 1136 Pinellas Bayway, South Tierra Verde, Florida. This is a must-try for a homemade Italian lunch or dinner. Just remember to bring your appetite because the portions are very generous. Call for reservation today at 727-867-3577 and check out TonyAnello's.com. Tony Anello's, real Italian food, no bullshit.
topic rate.
They didn't give me
2021.
that. They didn't give me that, but whatever.
Oh, where'd you get it from?
Some other ad. I don't know.
They're all just blurring together.
So we're back, and we decided right before we took the break that what we were going to do was talk about Wonder Woman 84, right? So we all have had a chance to watch this wonderful movie. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Everybody.
Actually,
Everybody.
Ryan messaged me a couple days ago and was like, I can't wait to talk about this stupid fucking movie.
Save
Are you
it.
kidding me,
Save
bro?
it.
I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah. He just winked for those of you out there in audio land.
Do you actually really love this movie?
You'll have to wait and find out until we start talking about
Fair
it.
enough.
He knows how to do
Save
the
it
sizzle.
for the podcast.
He really sets you up for that one, huh? Bump, set, spike.
Yeah, for real.
Wow. Wow words.
So how much news have we missed in 3 weeks?
We've probably missed quite a bit of news.
How much news are we going to talk about
Not
in
a
3
lot.
minutes?
Not a lot. Yeah, not a ton. But we're definitely getting back in the swing of things over here. So, no, I don't have a ton of news to talk about. But there's some things I do want to definitely bring up. First and foremost was one that I posted right after we started talking about taking a break, which was this movie with Bruce Willis, Breach, that's coming out.
Oh,
Have you seen the preview for it?
I have not.
Let me give you a couple of movies that I think this movie reminds me of.
Okay.
Armageddon.
Solid start.
I'm thinking Bruce Willis, right?
Mhm.
Armageddon. What's the movie where he was a general? Is it Hearts War or whatever?
I believe so, actually.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that one. Okay.
Go
okay.
for the hits.
Yeah.
Fifth Element
Okay.
and Land of the Dead.
Okay.
So essentially, what it looks like.
So you're telling me some of his most mediocre movies and not a Die Hard.
Not a Die Hard.
Ah,
I was
who
very
cares?
very
Who
specific to
cares?
not add Die Hard
Who
into
cares
this.
then?
I almost said Tears of the Sun. Would you have been in on that one? Because that movie was a killer.
It was all right.
So Bruce Willis and the last of the human race are getting in a spaceship and flying to New Earth. He put in air quotes. And they have this huge population of people that are in cryo sleep. And the trailer opens up with this lady going, "Hey, buddy, where you been?" Like she's wanting to find him in the lower decks and have her way with him. He turns around, he's all, "Bleh," and she's like, "Oh my God!" And he attacks her. And it's like, is this a zombie? What's going on? Is Bruce Willis fighting space zombies? But as the trailer progresses, you see more and more people turning into zombies and turning into this ultimate alien creature. And
Like
I
a
was like,
side effect of the cryo sleep alien kind of situation.
yeah, something. I don't know. I think it's
Okay.
a bacteria that takes over them or something, and then it makes them go crazy. But this guy's straight up trying to bite the girl in the preview. And that's what they look like they're trying to do. So I'm like, okay, space zombies. Got it.
They should just call it Space Zombies.
I would watch it instantly if it was called Space Zombies.
Bruce Willis versus Space Zombies.
Yeah. He also has a tagline where he's holding a flamethrower and is quoted as saying, "Who wants barbecue?" So when I saw that, I was like, I'm in.
It's no yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, but I'll
No,
take it.
it's not. I still liked it, though. According to a report from TGV Cinemas, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is beginning production in May and including another very famous character from the Sonic group of characters.
Is it Tails?
Anybody else want to make a guess?
I know who it is.
It's either Tails or Knuckles.
There's one that's going to be, that's, if they're making a big deal, it's Knuckles.
Megan's looking at me like, please help. I have no idea.
I've heard Tails already, so I'm going to assume
It is the
it's that.
echidna.
It's
Knuckles the
Lucles.
echidna.
Oh.
Megan and I, we haven't seen Sonic.
It was good.
However,
Oh my gosh.
we did watch
We already quote
a YouTube
things from-
video of all Jim Carrey's lines in the movie.
It's so
He has to make that movie.
He's maximum Jim Carrey. Like,
Perfect.
he is Ace Ventura in that movie.
The only other character that I can character actor that I can think of that does it as big as Jim Carrey when they do characters is Ben Stiller. Like heavyweights and White Goodman from Dodgeball. He's the only other guy I know that goes big like that. So I'm actually all in on that. I really want to see.
I'm excited to see that one mainly for him. Once we watched that movie, I was like, oh. So now anytime somebody mentions coffee, I think of that line.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Of course I want a latte. I love the way you make them.
We literally quote lines from
from a
Right.
movie you've never seen.
Yeah. And she asked me the other day, she's like, do you want chicken Alfredo? I was like, of course I want it. I love the way you make it.
Just watch the movie.
Yeah, we will.
I mean, it might not meet the hype now.
I love
You've
James
been more-
Marsden. I love James Marsden. I love Jim Carrey. I love the actor who plays Sonic. He was also in
John Ralphio.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
He's John Ralphio.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but he's also on Middleditch and Schwartz. I think he's
Middleditch.
Schwartz.
Nope.
He's Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz. Thank
Yes.
you. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny dude. I like
Yeah.
him a lot.
I
So
like
we're
everybody
gonna
in
have
that
to
movie.
watch this.
It's just a cute kids movie, so it's not like people are like, I don't know if it really fit. Okay, it's for kids. It's not for you. So
right.
fucking just don't
Will
worry
you
about it.
please calm down? This movie is not for you. Okay. So, Batman fans want a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton.
Who doesn't?
That's
Oh,
not
we've been
really
talking about that
news.
for 6 months.
Literally ever.
They must listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
They do.
right?
It's on in the break room. Like, here's Alter Ego. Let's take our lunch
They're-
at 11
they're-
to 11:30.
they're
So we
talking
All
can-
the
about it
fans
again.
collectively worked at the same place and decided to take
and
lunch
all
at
the
same
celebrities that we've claimed to love our show.
time. They don't.
Here's one that I saw today that I was very excited about. Avengers Campus to open at Disneyland in 2021.
Oh yeah.
Disneyland. F.
Yeah, Disneyland,
Yeah, it's gonna be all
California.
Disneyland first.
California.
So I remember seeing a video about this a couple years ago. There's actually like an animatronic Spider-Man that swings above the park at all, like going through on a pattern, so it looks like Spider-Man swinging through the park.
Oh, that's dope.
That's pretty cool for kids. They just see
Until
Spider-Man,
the rope snaps.
and he takes out a group of kids like
Yeah.
bowling pins.
Yeah, he's abnormally heavy.
Buddy, it's not rope.
So the
it's
kid does.
spiderweb.
The kid doesn't even slow him down. What happened to Timmy?
Spider-Man picked him up and took him over. to Hulk World.
he was here a moment ago. I swear. And I just want to kind of gauge our excitement because I know we're going to be talking about this. By the time this comes out, it'll be the 11th, Monday the 11th.
Yeah.
Something very special happens on the 15th, January 15th. You better know what it is. I don't know about
it
you
that
guys.
If it's an
WandaVision?
Alabama game, I'm going to be pissed.
No, that
Oh.
actually happens on Monday the 11th.
It's that WandaVision premieres.
Yay!
So excited. for
Ryan
this.
can't wait to not watch it.
Hey man. You know what?
Winner, winner.
You want to
chicken
miss out?
dinner.
You
You're
can
really
miss
not
out.
gonna watch it week to week?
I said Ryan can't wait to not
Oh,
watch it.
I didn't hear the name you said. I thought
I-
you, thought
I
you
will
said
be
that.
watching
I
it
was like,
every
wait a second.
Friday.
Sorry,
I
was
think-
mentally somewhere else.
We have no idea how much this series is going to set up.
Oh, I have an idea, but I have huge expectations as well.
Yeah, me too.
Which is never a good thing.
Yeah.
Go in like in the middle.
Yeah. I'm like,
Listen.
this is going to set up the multiverse, and this is going to set up mutants, and this is going to set up all the things I love. It's going to bring back Quicksilver. It's all the things I want. Okay, it's probably not going to give us all of that.
You're right. I feel the same way. I think the multiverse gets started in there. I think Wanda develops herself as almost a threat, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
But
Walk that line.
I think she walks that line and of like she's so powerful that even if she's not being malicious, she's
it's
dangerous.
just kind of like, ooh.
It's like, listen, you don't know what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You're just that powerful. I'd love to see Petro Maximoff come back to the MCU. Isn't that Petro? Isn't that her brother?
Yes.
He's
Yeah,
dead though.
Played by the kick-ass guy.
yeah.
He's
But
dead.
so's Vision, and he's in the trailer. You dingus. She's so powerful.
Ryan's
that
like,
she
wait, Vision's in
imagines-
He can be like rebuilt, kind of. What I mean, how often? I mean, a lot. And I'm not saying this in a sarcastic way. How often do people like literally live and die in
I
the
think,
Marvel and DC universe?
in the comic books. You're right.
Oh,
But
all
I
the
think
effing time.
I think he is going to be pure manifestation.
Yeah, I think this is like a weird like pocket universe kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Gotcha.
Agreed. I think fully that's what's
But
going to happen.
that's how some people come back in the comics is through like alternate universes
Yeah,
and stuff.
and you never know what actually happened with her interaction with the Mind Stone when Thanos finally showed up, and it's her against him while she's trying to kill the Mind Stone at the same time. You don't know what kind of magic she tapped into there, and I think they're going to touch on that as well. I mean,
Yeah.
they've had a lot of these great shots of the Mind Stone in the previews for this, so I think we're going to see, I think, her kids, Wiccan, and who else? She has two
I don't
children
know.
that she imagines, and they show a crib. They show her carrying two kids. They show her being pregnant. And I think it's going to go off. It's going to go crazy. And I want to see who gets involved.
You think Big Daddy Magneto shows up?
I'm not ready for that.
That
I'm
would
not
be
ready for
too
that.
much.
Uh,
Dad, is that you?
if that happens, there would be an audible, girlish scream come out of my body.
I'll hear it from your house 20 miles away from mine.
Someone would say, "There's a little girl in that house, and she is in danger." I was pretty happy for that other big surprise from Mandalorian. I don't know if we talked about.
We haven't.
We haven't talked about the Mandalorian because we haven't.
We are.
Recorded
We're going to
since
do an
then.
episode for the Mandalorian.
Yes.
Ryan, here's your
Like-
notice.
You have until next Thursday.
There were so
watch
many.
2 seasons.
There were a couple episodes of Mandalorian where I looked at Megan and said, "We're running it back. We're watching it again.
Yeah.
Don't care."
I think
And
I'm
it
ready
was-
to go through it again.
Yeah, I definitely think that we should. I mean, maybe we can give him a little more time and we can all make it through it again.
We'll give it a buffer.
Season
give it a
2
couple
was
weeks.
so good, and it was rare for me to find a show that hits and gets so much traction like Mandalorian did, to come into season 2 and not be old hat and not, reiterate some of the things they've already done. I felt like they hit it out of the park. Not only did they bring the universe up, but I'm saying we're not going to talk about it, and here we are talking about it. WandaVision.
Yep.
That's going to lead into, I think, definitely Doctor Strange. They've already
Kevin,
said.
Kevin Feige already said that.
Yeah. So that's going to lead into Doctor Strange, which I think is also going to lead into a little bit of Spider-Man, which is going to lead into why Spider-Man has so many Spider-Men. And I think that also brings us an open door for the Fantastic Four, for the X-Men in general. If Magneto showed up, I would lose my mind. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
It'd be too soon, though.
I disagree. What's too soon?
I want mutants first and then Magneto.
Magneto
A little
is a
far
mutant.
down the line.
Magneto is a mutant.
Okay, the mutants we know and love is X-Men and then Magneto.
Gotcha. See, you can ask my beautiful wife here. Magneto are the mutants I know and love.
Yeah.
I know them all. I love them. They're a great team, but Magneto's my guy.
Maybe they can finally do that Magneto movie they've been trying to do for 15 years.
Oh, good Lord.
If anybody can do it, it's Feige.
Yeah, Feige. But I don't think Feige's going to follow that formula at all.
Oh, no. He has his
Origin
own formula.
story? Nah. I don't think Feige's about going back in time and doing stuff like that.
I think he said that Captain Marvel was the last origin story
Yeah.
we're going to get.
Right. Well, I think we're going to get one with Shang-Chi as well, and probably Moon Knight.
You feel like you'd have to, but I hope they just kind of jump right into it. Like Ant-Man, they just kind of jumped right into it. They did a little bit, but it wasn't this whole drawn-out backstory.
No.
It was like, it's the 80s, it's this, it's that, it's this. Okay, we're moving on to this thing. Okay,
Yep.
here we go.
Yeah. So speaking of the 80s,
Mark's the king of segues.
time to who is?
Mark just setting you up.
Yep.
time to talk
I'm
about-
the king, just me alone.
It's time to talk about Wonder Woman 84. And here's
How
what
much
here's
time
what
do you
I want
guys
to know.
have?
Here's what I want to know. How do we want to break this down? I'm going to make myself a little note here.
So we can either do the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Okay.
or we can break it down to category. Like
Okay.
characters, story, plots.
Okay.
I mean, you could probably mix a lot of that into the good.
Yeah,
and bad
let's
and
do
ugly.
that. That's a good point. Both of
We
you
should
made.
start with the good.
Okay, yeah. Let's start with the good.
All right,
good?
I'm googling it first so we can see some
It's
extra stuff
everything.
about it.
This movie is absolutely amazing.
Oh, Ryan coming in with the hot take.
You actually really did like it. Is that your?
Oh, he's going to turn on us in a minute.
Yeah, he is.
Turn on you.
Give him time.
There's only one good thing about that movie, and it's 2 words: Gail Gadot. Other than that, that
I
I
would-
beg
okay.
to differ to all of you.
I mean, just looking at her's okay. She's my woman crush.
So here's the
Is
good.
she?
yeah,
Really?
I've only said that a lot.
She's
Nothing wrong with Silver.
I mean, I think she's great. I don't think she's the most amazing actress ever, but I think she has a certain presence
Bro.
about herself.
Bro, she doesn't have to be. She's hot. That's the whole point.
She's not hot, but she is hot.
She
but
has
that's
to-
not
Wonder
that's
Woman
not
has
the
to give
only
a
thing.
sense of strength
She
in her.
reminds me
presence.
of like a Christopher Reeves Superman kind of character where she just has that on-screen presence where you're like, holy shit, that's Wonder Woman. Like you could see her walking down the street wearing sweatpants and be like, that's somebody. I don't know who that is, but that's somebody. And I think that just comes across the screen and you feel that larger than life personality come through. But anyways, Pedro Pascal did an amazing job in this movie acting. I liked Kristen Wiig. I thought she did a great job. But we'll get into the bad and the ugly later.
I think the good about that, so to sum that up, and I agree with you, the good is the cast.
Yeah.
And who's in it.
I think everybody did a great job acting with the script they had in this movie.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal was just such a sleazy 80s businessman. It was perfect for me. And that first scene in the shopping mall reminded me of one of those old Superman movies. Like where she's... Or not the it was in the mall with the jewelry store, but like she's like kicking ass and she's saving the kids and she's doing winks and
spoiler alert! If you didn't already know,
boy,
spoiler alert!
Okay, well,
go ahead. You're not giving anything away by saying that.
It's the first 5 minutes of the movie where she's stopping a robbery, so it's not that big of a deal.
Of the movie.
Okay, it's the
like
first 20 minutes,
in there.
And I loved all that. First 20 minutes of this movie, I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be good. We got the introduction to all these characters. I'm like, all right, here we go. Everybody's doing a good job so far. And then I'll just pass it on to somebody else.
as far as the good?
Yeah.
I thought the set pieces that they had were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that it looked. Like the cinematography was really good. The locations were good.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely echo the Pedro Pascal. I thought he was a very great character. I don't even want to say villain. I just want to say character.
He wasn't even really... He shouldn't have even been Maxwell Lord in this. As somebody who reads a lot of DC stuff, like it could have just been any sleazy 80s businessman. It would have been fine.
So you think this was a name drop to
it was
get
just
some attention?
Yeah, like it had nothing to do with anything.
But because that guy actually annoyed the hell out of me.
Oh, I loved it.
What about
You'll love
you?
him as the Mandalorian.
What was the good for you?
He's the Mandalorian?
Honey?
Yep.
Sorry.
So now
Good for me. We are doing spoilers, right?
Yeah.
I really liked the way that they made Cheetah look.
When?
At the end?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You are the first person I've heard
So-
say
Your
that.
good is my ugly.
But see, I don't really know much about her, so I just thought that she looked kind of cool.
Do you also love the movie Cats?
Oh no, is it like that? I don't
Well,
know.
hold
like,
on,
It just,
hold
I
on,
like the way
hold
that
on.
they, because I do know kind of what she looks like in the comics, so I like the way that they like made her hair and everything. Like, and she, you can ask him. She was talking about wanting to be an apex predator, and it didn't even fucking dawn on me that that's who she was talking about. She showed up on screen, and I was like, wait a second. How did I not put two and
It's
two
okay.
together?
It didn't dawn on anybody, including the people who wrote the script. But
Yeah.
anyways,
So-
we'll move
I,
on.
just, I,
Wait a
actually,
minute.
I
Oh,
really
I got
thought that she
that,
looked
but-
cool with the way they did her makeup and stuff.
I definitely want to address that because that is the part of me that tells me, okay, pull up on her, loosen the reins a little bit when you're critiquing this stuff because
'Cause people
she
like
doesn't
different
know
things.
that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for them to introduce it that way and for her to be like, whoa,
She
who is
looks
this?
pretty cool.
And then liking it, and I was like, I have a new appreciation for how this is going.
It's true. You're right.
Because we're used to classic,
over
Cheetah.
critiquing things.
You know what? She did look accurate to what she looks like in the comics. She's a Catwoman.
Yeah.
But
How'd you get there?
I just thought it looked
Yeah, that's
off
that
and
bothered
weird
me that it was like
and
an all of a
random.
sudden thing.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that you would have seen a little bit more of that
So
transformation.
they should have really said,
This is part of my bad, so I'll save
yeah.
my
Let's
stuff for then.
move on to the
Okay,
bad,
yeah,
shall
yeah.
we? Do you have a good that you said the first one? You said Gal Gadot.
That's it. It's the only good in this
Wow.
movie. Period.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really liked.
Okay. Let's do ugly next. Actually, we'll do bad last because there's a lot of bad.
The
Right?
ugly was let's see, the cat CGI I thought was ugly.
Okay. I thought the plot was really ugly.
Oh, that was the ugliest part of the movie.
The way that things were structured to me was I don't know. Like I said, the sets were perfect. They
It
looked
was a
great.
great looking movie,
Yeah.
and it was a great acted movie,
But
and it
I'm
was a
just
great
like-
costumed movie.
Yeah.
But that script,
Yeah.
ooh, those '80s costumes were great.
Yeah.
They were. I thought
Yeah,
they were
weren't
really
bad.
good.
They weren't bad.
No, they weren't. And Steve Traeger coming back. Steve Traeger. What's his name? Steve what?
Trevor.
Trevor. Steve Traeger's my CEO. Steve Trevor coming back.
That was weird.
Another ugly transition to me.
So there's a lot of stuff, including that, where I just looked at it on paper. I'm like, you could have just skipped this whole thing.
Yeah.
Steve Trevor did not have to be in this movie.
Not at all.
Who was that?
He is her boyfriend.
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like that was just
We could tell you really paid attention to this one.
that
Put
was.
a lot of heart
I'm not
into
gonna
it.
lie.
He
I
was
had
on
to
his
watch it
phone the whole
twice
time.
because I fell asleep the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you hate it so much. You had to watch it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't fall asleep. I got up and started my download on my Xbox Series X. Then came back, caught the end, and then rewatched.
Gotcha.
it again.
Gotcha.
But then
All
I
right.
rewatched, fell asleep.
So
So Steve Trevor could just be cut entirely out of this movie, and the movie would be just fine.
he was meant to be a reason. Here's another thing that bothered me
The
about
weakness of her.
How heavy-handed
Ugly-
all these analogies were.
But were they? Well, I mean, so for me,
Ugly-handed, I should.
we're gonna go in. Let's go into the bad because there's a lot of bad. I don't know
I
if we
have
have
some
much.
ugly.
Go ahead, please.
The
I was
props.
running out quickly.
The props and kind of the CGI with it, like when she drops the
CGI.
when she drops the big weight and it like breaks off of the side.
The
First of
actual
all-
prop
Oh,
breaks.
First of all, I mean, I don't know if they were trying to do that on purpose to make it look like because it was so heavy when it fell, it broke. But like, it literally looks kind of like duct taped styrofoam. Like it literally looks like that. If
That's
you're looking,
probably
it's
what it
super
was.
bumpy. And anybody who's ever been to the gym, I know that sometimes like some of those weights are kind of like they have like that plastic shell, but they didn't even look like that. They just look like duct tape wrapped. And then during the
Weights were
drive
made out of duct
scene-
tape in the 80s. You just,
Oh,
you
were
just
they?
didn't know. Yeah.
Maybe they did kind of look more like that back then, but they didn't do a very good job. They literally looked like a fifth grader made it for like an art project. And the other one that I really hated that made me chuckle a little bit actually was during like the car racing scene when the tanks and stuff were involved.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
And-
pretty bad.
And what's his name again? Steve
Trevor.
Steve Trevor is like on top of the tank and he like kicks the machine gun that's sticking through the and it literally like bends like a straw the first time, literally like, as if it was just
It was just made out of rubber.
right. And then later he's kicking it and it's not so bad. So I think maybe they caught him kicking it a
Yeah.
little too hard and then later he like eased up on it. But I was like, okay, that looked stupid. Like,
Something Marvel.
that's nitpicky, but it was
something
ugly.
Marvel's really good at with CGI that DC doesn't seem to connect with is the weight of objects in their universe, especially when it comes to CGI.
Yeah.
Marvel does a really good job of conveying that weight when people are moving things or when Captain America's trying to push something out of the way
Yeah.
or when Spider-Man's trying to get out of that rubble at the end of that movie. You can feel the weight of that.
Yeah.
And then DC, maybe because they're gods and whatever, everything's just kind of plink, 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 like everything just kind of flies out of the way. And it makes the stakes feel a lot lower because of that to
Yeah.
me.
And it's hard for me because at certain points during this movie, I look over, I was like, you know what? I'm actually appreciating what they're trying to do here. I think the execution was kind of bad, and I think this is kind of born from so many directors saying, oh, well, my cut is going to have this, and this.
Oh, God, here
I
we
think
go.
the studio looked at her and was like, put whatever you want on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to sit here and chop you up. You have a vision. We're going to give it to you. Go ahead and shoot all that unnecessary shit that we'd normally put on a director's cut and throw it in the movie. And that way, you're getting your true vision. We're showing Wonder Woman that we're giving her attention, and we're letting her be her, and we're letting the director be the director, and off we go.
Go ahead and shoot yourself in the foot. Because the Wonder Woman 2017 had a lot of studio notes, which made it a movie for the better, I'm assuming, because I was a big fan of that movie. There were no studio notes this time. It
Yeah.
seems like there's no reports of anything being changed, and it shows
Yeah.
a lot.
Again, I'm with you on the Steve Trevor thing. So I didn't understand why Steve Trevor had to come back as
Somebody else.
random fucking
Yeah,
guy.
That was weird.
What happened to that guy? Like, is he in a coma?
He
Like,
shows up at the end.
wearing a scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
He
like
shows up at the end in a Hallmark movie.
I
Wait a
feel
minute.
like if you can literally like basically take over the world just with a simple wish or turn your entire self into a apex predator, you should be able to literally just create a person
And
as
that's how
they
I felt.
were and then
So-
not have to like embody someone that's
So-
already alive.
What
Right.
a weird artistic choice. Like,
Yeah.
what happened when Steve Trevor woke up? Because we just see him for the first time at that cocktail
Yeah.
party.
And he says he woke up in the apartment.
So he woke up in a strange apartment.
Yeah.
He wasn't himself
In
in a
the
time that
80s,
he doesn't
yeah.
understand.
And knew to look for her in the phone book.
And he looked for her in the phone. Did they have a phone book in the 1940s? I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe just looking through, he found it, but it was very ham-handed for him not only to find her at that cocktail party. How does he know where she works?
Yeah.
That there's a cocktail party, that she's going, and where to find. How did he get an invitation to get into
How do you know
Maxwell
what
Lord's
part
house?
of the world she's in? She
Yeah.
could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And he ends up right there and
And that's what this
same
random
city.
person says to her. I wish we had more time or something like that. And she's like, Steve, wait, what?
yeah, and the fact that it like full circles back to him later, it's like, okay, so part of me was like it's very unrealistic, the correspondence, we talked about this too, between now the guy that with the scarf at the end and her, two beautiful people out there in the Christmas time snow, clearly, possibly, maybe single. Nobody asked. What is happening?
Yeah, I yelled at my TV. I'm like, get her number.
Right. But then a part of me was kind of like, as a watcher of this circumstance, who is someone who watched her love thing with what's his face, Chris Pine. Maybe they were trying to like do the crowd a service of not involving her with this and making it like this super awkward. Like I literally was sleeping with you in your bed and you didn't know it. Like that's just fucking.
Or it could
weird.
be like,
so
she
they-
could never love anybody
They
else.
Right.
other than
clearly
Steve Trevor.
slept
That's what
together.
it's-
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they clearly did a lot of things with this random guy. You know, maybe that was the price she paid. She didn't know the guy
Trevor got
had
Freaky
syphilis.
Friday.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. But here's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't it have made more sense
Yes.
for them
Every
to
time.
apparate Steve Trevor as a person,
Yeah.
and that be why she lost her power a little bit?
Yes, because
Because we're
basically took the
using
power
part of
from
you
her.
and your memory to manifest this thing.
Yes.
We're using your memory and part of your power inside of you to manifest this.
Yes.
That's why you're weak. Not, you're this guy now.
They could have just left him out.
But they needed something for her to want.
To make her weak.
To
They had to
involve
weaken
her with this
somehow.
wish. And there's not much that they could have done without adding a lot more to the script.
And it's Chris Pine. And not that he's like a
Yeah.
super
No,
A-list
he-
person,
he
but
is.
I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
I
didn't like him in
I,
this.
I enjoyed him in it because I liked him in the first one and I liked him as an actor. I thought that the kind
Yeah.
of the cutesy back and
We're
forth.
Chris
as-
Pine
I mean,
fans.
I'm also a girl, so that
I thought I
cutesy
was
back
a
and
Chris
forth
Pine
stuff
fan
doesn't
until
bother me.
I watched this movie. Maybe I'm just mad. Maybe I'm just mad at the movie.
Yeah.
But it made me less of a Chris Pine fan.
Yeah. I can see it.
But like also, so you have Maxwell Lord as a villain, and you have Cheetah as a villain. They could have gone one way or the other, and it would have been a full movie. Like they didn't need to have both of them involved. They could have easily written either one of them out of the script and made it two different movies. Both revolved around the same stone. Like they could have done the whole Cheetah thing where Cheetah had to give up her powers, blah blah blah, and then you after credit scene, Maxwell Lord gets the stone.
Yeah.
And that's your next. That's Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah.
It easily could have been cut out. And okay, so I know this movie was wearing on me because about an hour in, we paused it to get up and go do something, and I looked at the screen and I went, an hour and 34 minutes remaining.
Yep.
I'm like, no, that's got to be the total. Oh no, this is a 2.5 hour movie.
That's actually
Yeah.
kind of funny because we stopped it literally. Like I said, I was like, man, we're probably not even an hour into this movie, and he paused it. And it was 59 minutes and like 56 seconds. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
my,
it was
we gotta find out
59
what's at an
minutes.
hour in because we both paused it at the
So
same time.
she's like, pause it. 59 minutes and 23 seconds.
it
I was
was-
like,
Wow.
wow.
I know.
Because this movie could have ended with the White House fight.
Yeah.
That could have been the end of this movie, and it could have been an hour, like an hour and 50-minute movie, and
Yeah.
it would have been a
should
lot
have been. That would have
breezier.
been a lot more
Why is a
stakes.
single superhero non-team up movie almost 3 hours?
Yeah, too much.
I think it's trying to be fan service. It's trying to
very
say
up
we
and
love Wonder Woman. Here's all the Wonder Woman you can handle.
I guess, but
and I felt like it was doing it a disservice almost.
yeah, because they have that big fight at the White House
Where it should have ended.
where they could have just went down to the basement, and that could have been where the magical TV whatever thing is.
Yeah.
But they're like, the fight happens, and they're like, the villains have to escape, and then it's another 30 minutes of getting to the
There's a
next
satellite.
destination.
There's a satellite whose particles connect to the people, and okay.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
like that.
I was over this movie when the villain was overcome by the power of positive thinking.
Here's another thing about that. It's like, so she wants to be, we're talking about Cheetah now. She wants to be more like Gal Gadot, or
Don't we all?
What is her? Diana
Prince.
Diana Prince, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like Diana. And all of a sudden, she's like Diana because she can walk in heels.
Wow.
The guy's like, wow, you're good in those heels. Is that her transformation?
I love the ultimate
It's like it
80s
slowly
intro to that
increases.
character.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yes.
like, oh, my glasses. Like,
Yeah.
it's that. And
Sorry, nobody likes
What
me
is it?
or talks
It
to me.
reminded me of like She's All That, where like you take the
Yeah.
ugly chick
It's
and make
every-
her hot.
Yeah.
it's every makeover movie
Bro,
from the 80s.
it's so
which I'm
bad.
trying to figure out. Were they trying to do a wink? There's a lot of stuff in here where I'm like, that's so cheesy and so 80s. Why did they do that? Or were they doing a wink and a nod? Oh, it's a movie that takes place in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing the whole time.
How about that? We stole the jet, and I was like, okay, they're stealing the jet. I get that. And then all of a sudden, she's like, well, by the way, my dad knew how to do this and turn things invisible. What?
That
And
was
I've only done
Why
it
is
once.
that something new? That's
Where did this
happening?
come from?
so
Yeah.
that was meant to be fan service, but then all the fans went, no,
Yeah.
no, that's not what we want at all.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Same thing
because
with the flight thing.
for it to be such a thing and such a prominent, the invisible jet being such a big part of Wonder Woman, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and here it is. I didn't even know you had this ability.
Yeah. Two things. One, why can Steve Trevor, a pilot from the late 1930s, fly a 1980s?
1980s, thank you.
Bro, don't worry about it. He's a pilot.
He flipped enough
That's
switches to
what he said.
Yeah.
And so they
one of
literally,
these switches will.
here we
You-
go. Okay, there's this. Where's the fuel? All right, and I got it.
We saw that plane from the first movie. That plane in the first movie had two switches on it.
Yeah.
Go
Yes.
and stop. That was it.
Yeah.
And a thing that goes where you pull back and go up.
And he goes,
That's
the
it.
way I fly, they'll never catch us.
It's a joystick. I don't
Yeah.
know what you're gonna do with that, but
And actually, you saying that, they also, she's like, they'll never catch us. But she's like, oh, there's radar. And then she turns it invisible. Just because it's invisible doesn't mean the radar stopped.
Right.
and who's ever
Same
seen a
thing.
fighter jet with side by side seats? That's
Yeah.
never existed before.
And if you, so are you invisible or untouchable? Because that
Yeah.
motherfucker drives through fireworks
Yeah.
And
and
it's-
never gets hit with them.
Yeah. Which was a beautifully shot scene.
Yeah, it was great,
But
but
there's
they
just
just
left me
not
with a lot
like.
of questions.
Yeah, but I'd rather the movie be 10 minutes shorter and not have that scene in it.
Fair
That
enough.
scene or the beginning scene. What did the beginning scene have to do with this movie at all?
So
Thank you. That was the point I was going to make.
there you go.
They showed this whole thing with young Diana Prince dominating in this
Yes.
obstacle course race,
For
and
real.
she makes it. She gets to the end. She's about to win. They're like, "No, you cheated, Diana. You can't do." And then they never address it again.
So I think
So
what
was
it's
the
supposed
wish
to-
and wishing for the guy? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I think what it's supposed to circle back to is that Warrior gets the gold armor and all
Oh,
that stuff.
that's gonna
So I
come
think
later.
but it's so long. It's like it's kind of like
So-
it's
but that-
unnecessary.
That was just meant to be a statue. That wasn't the
Yeah.
prize for the race.
It also didn't need to be really done that way. It could have been a quick explanation of what this armor was for her to be able to wear it at the end of the movie. But
It's
I don't
just
know.
a new action figure. That's all that is.
Yeah.
It's a variant on a pop figure.
But
Yes.
they did
It's the
explain
chase.
the armor, by the way. They did explain its importance and who
Yeah.
wore it and where it came from.
They did, but that's probably what that first scene is
But
supposed
I
to.
think I really
kind of
think the
embody.
first scene was supposed to be like, this is the lesson that's going to be the thread throughout the movie,
Yep.
and they
And that's
tried
it.
to like,
And it didn't
oh,
go there.
well, you cheated death, so that's cheating and whatever, blah blah blah. Cheating never wins, but it didn't hit at all
Yeah.
in any way for me, at least. I'm like, I'm not tying this all together. Like you're not teaching a lesson. There's no. It's just.
Here's my other
Yeah,
challenge.
I didn't
with
walk away with that, so
Yeah.
that-
no.
they failed.
And I had to think for a long time to get to that. I'm like, why would they try to do that cheaters never win thing? But I'm like, oh, I guess you cheated death, so maybe that's.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then they go to the president, and that's what I don't get is that Maxwell Lord, you need more nukes, right? That's what you want. And they're like, I was like, well, why is nukes the conversation that comes up here?
Yeah, and he's
it was
like,
the 80s.
I
and-
know,
and
but
he was like, "You want nukes?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like,
Touch my hand.
"Is that what you wish for?" What?
Yeah,
Who talks like that?
Nukes is my favorite salad place. I do want nukes.
and then out of nowhere, nobody knows that Maxwell Lord has these powers. Everybody's oblivious. Like the guy back in the base is like, the nukes are disappearing. I I don't know. I'd be like, don't you have fucking TV down there? Do you see the shit that's happening? No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Train wreck.
All the Pedro Pascal stuff with being a shitty dad and
Yeah.
Okay, so when they first showed him, they showed him as this like TV celebrity, filthy businessman kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then they showed the other layer of him just like broke
Yeah.
and like scraping by and
Faking
robbing
it.
Peter to pay Paul. I'm like, that's a cool thread. I like
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like it just the rest
Well,
of it
And
just
they turn
the
him
other
into a
thing,
friggin'
too,
whack
is-
job.
Right. First of all,
He did the-
why does this oil tycoon wannabe know anything about this ancient history
Yeah.
and this stone?
Where's the explanation?
Yes.
Where did this come across his path for him to sink everything he ever had and other people's funds into finding it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, like, I think at the jewelry store, when you first see that stone in that box,
It
it
does
says, like,
have his name
reserved
on it.
for M. Lord.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's our tie-in. Like, he was going to buy it, but we never find out why he was going to buy it.
Yeah, there's no
where
history
he learned
as how
from
he
it.
even knows about it,
And then,
let alone that
and
he was
then
going to get it.
tried to pull a Jafar wishing for more wishes kind of situation
Yeah.
by turning himself into a stone.
Uh-huh.
So,
I would have loved for him to have turned into the stone and then just gone credits.
he turns into the stone, and it's just
Yeah.
like a little stone with that haircut. Like,
Here's with the comb over,
it's a stone in a little suit.
and then his son comes in, Papa,
And it's just like a little figure on his desk.
which I didn't get that either. The kid, I mean, I understand the semblance of what they were trying to show with him being scared and being without his dad and his dad moving on without him and not wanting to deal with him because he was so caught up in success and more and more and more that he never thought about his kid. But who really is watching this child at all
yeah,
throughout the movie?
that's what
Nobody.
I'm
They
saying.
never see mom.
There's like weird
no,
interns that grab
There's
him once in
nothing
a
to
while.
develop. There's just the assistant that goes, your son's here. He's here? Where?
And then, like, at the end of the movie, he just drops in
Kills
right where
me.
this kid is. And I almost said it, too. He's like, what is the kid's name? I don't even remember. He was screaming it.
Ashlyn?
Oh,
or
yeah.
No, it starts with an A, though.
Yeah, something.
Ugh.
But he's just screaming it, and he's, like, all distressed. And I was
We brought it
almost
up.
said it.
We'll
I
find
said, this kid's going to come out of the bush. And I didn't. And then that motherfucker came straight out the bush. And I was like, oh, my God. This is so stupid.
I remember it has an A because it's not the name
Alistair.
of the kid.
Alistair. I knew it was a weird
was gonna
name.
s-
Because that's not the same
Alistair.
name as
It's
the
my
comics
brother's name.
either, as the kid, because the kid... Maxwell Lord has different powers. The kid inherits the powers, and the kid becomes a villain himself.
Yeah.
But they changed the name of the kid to a different A name, so it's going to be something completely different. So
Here's the thing that bugged me. He leaves his son on the chopper. Right? You know, he goes in the chopper and leaves. The kid is at the facility the whole time. Then he's outside. Then he's on the highway. And then he happens to land in the middle of a field somewhere near his facility and is sprinting and screaming Alistair. And the kid, I swear to God, she just started laughing as soon as this little boy popped out of the bush. She goes, I was going to say, what is he going to pop out of the bushes? And he did.
I was like, this is stupid.
He's like, I love you.
they tried to make that kid like the emotional core of that character, but he treated his kid like shit the entire time, and presumably his entire life.
Yeah.
And then Wonder Woman's like, but remember your son. And he's like,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, you're right, my
I
son.
love my son. And then that reverses everything that happens in the movie.
It
Here's
might
the
have been better if you just would have looked at the camera and been like, fuck that kid.
Yeah, I don't even like that kid.
That would have established him more as a villain.
Yeah.
If he didn't care about his son. That's what I didn't get. I'm like, okay, so who's my clear-cut villain here?
Why
because
are
then
you
at the end,
yeah, making this a sensitive character now here at the end?
here's-
Everybody's kind of a half villain in this movie.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. At the end, I don't want to skip ahead. We can obviously still talk about it, but this is one of the things that really bugged me.
The whole end?
Yeah. Maxwell Lord is in the little particle thing where he can touch everybody, and he goes, I revoke my wish. Perfect. You revoke your wish. That should have just blanketed everyone else's
Mm-hmm.
and revoke all
Because
those
it piles on
wishes.
top.
Because then, it's like when they had the vampire movies, when you kill the main vampire, anybody else he's turned dies.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. He gives back his wish. The stone shows back up. Gal Gadot takes it. Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. And that's it. No, they have to go to all these individual people. And I know you're going to agree with me on this because everybody was like, you know what? I rescind my wish.
There's one guy who's like, no, fuck that.
Everybody, no. somebody out there was like, I want a 3-foot-long hog. Got it. And then like, we're all rescinding our wishes. He's like, the fuck we are. I just got a job as a lifeguard. I ain't rescinding shit.
I got cheeks to clap.
Exactly. But everybody is going to I rescind my wish because Wonder Woman said so. What?
If we're all positive, we can overcome anything, guys.
Not to mention, so that would work out because then we still have Cheetah.
Yeah.
But at the end, no. Cheetah somehow was like, I rescind my wish. Fuck it. I was willing to get drowned and electrocuted to stay this apex predator. But you know what? Wonder Woman's right.
She just wanted to be cool, man. She just wanted to have
It
friends.
seemed very rushed with all of that. It seemed very rushed because,
Right.
I mean, she went to this extreme to, when she's on the helicopter or plane or whatever with what's-his-face, and she says, I want to be an apex predator. Like, they make that sound like she is, so passionate and desired because that's what she wants, and then 30 seconds later, she rescinds her wish.
Hold on. See, and in that moment, too, she already has a wish. How the fuck did she get the wish
Yeah.
again?
So here's what happened.
Certain people get 2 wishes. Everybody else gets 1.
That's
Here's what
my
happened.
point.
Here's what happened. And I caught this when they did it, is when Maxwell Lord gave you a wish, he took something in return, right? And that made it automatic.
Mm-hmm.
So Maxwell Lord doesn't get a lot of wishes, but he gets what he wants when he takes it back from you.
Yeah.
So when he did that, the televangelist thing, and took all that power, he goes, I get this, I get that. And then if you catch it, he goes, I give her all your rage, all your this, all your that. And he's giving that to her as part of giving everybody what they want.
Still
And
doesn't
so
make sense why
that
she
was
gets
what I
wishes.
guess made the physical transformation, but I didn't get
You see, that doesn't make sense because remember the one guy he grabs and he wishes for something?
Yeah.
And he goes, did I already wish? And he's like, yeah. And he just throws him
Ah.
away.
Yeah.
So that breaks that whole thing right there, too.
Well, no, because he was the stone. So him dealing out consequences to
But
me
he
made
was
sense.
still- well, that's what I'm saying. He did that to that one guy, and
Right.
he couldn't because he couldn't wish again because he already used his wish.
Right.
So how does she get to wish again the second time?
She
That still
didn't.
doesn't make
He
sense.
gave it to her.
He pulled it from other people and
He
passed
gave it to
along,
her. Exactly.
which I didn't catch that. But I just okay. So in the
Because
comics,
they do that, and when he says that, it cuts to her, and she's going like, oh, God, like she's taking
Yeah.
on all this power.
So in the comics, Cheetah is like this bioengineer who's obsessed with cats and obsessed with apex predators, and there's this whole backstory, and it's been her life's work, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
In this movie,
She's a Smithsonian.
she works at the Smithsonian, has nothing to do with cats, and it's just like, I want to be an apex predator.
No, I want to be like Diana.
Actually, no. Actually, there is one cat in this entire movie. There's a stuffed cat in the Smithsonian, and they kind of like show her, and then they like focus in on the cat. But it's a bobcat. It's not even a cheetah. You couldn't get a
Right.
fucking stuffed cheetah for a movie
Yeah,
with
right?
cheetah in it?
Come on.
It's my favorite complaint we've ever had on the show. Can't get a fucking stuffed cheetah? Are you kidding me?
Is this Hollywood or Little Caesars?
But it's funny they show that, and I'm like, that's a bobcat. That's not a cheetah.
Yeah.
And then it just no cat ever came up again.
They don't even call her Cheetah. She doesn't call herself
No.
Cheetah.
No.
No.
So a lot of people might have been really confused on that one.
It's just, I would have been happy if she just stayed in that middle form the entire time.
To me, Aquaman is still undefeated. I think it's still the best DC solo movie they've done so far.
You haven't watched Shazam
And
yet.
it's
You're
funny,
right.
because I watched the thing where they literally took Aquaman and played it next to Marvel movies, where they just pretty much copied Marvel movies step for step. I'll take it, but I
So
like
you're
Jason
describing every movie company in the history of
Oh, yeah.
movies
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
But
Aquaman,
Momoa. I just mean
Shazam,
DC.
and Wonder
Yeah.
Woman 1 are like, that's your A-level tier of DC movies.
Is Shazam on HBO Max?
Yes.
We might have to give it a look-see then.
I mean, I probably hyped it up for way too long for you guys. It's, I mean,
No,
it's,
I've
I've
been
heard
wanting
it's
to see
good,
it.
it's the level of Wonder. If you liked Wonder Woman 1, it's like that, like the quality of that.
Now, can we talk about my absolute favorite part of this entire movie?
Please.
It's
We
when
wish you
she's
would.
Flying through the air, and then all of a sudden she's got that fucking armor on, and then drops down to the ground, and then fights that. Where the fuck did that armor come from?
They show her
literally-
going back to her apartment to get it.
Yeah, it's in her closet.
Yeah, with this
I mean,
ancient
well,
armor,
didn't
which, by
see
the way,
that part.
Themyscira is still around.
Yeah,
right?
she just took that from them. Well, then again, the first time she left, she took all the good shit then anyway.
Took the lasso and the
She's
sword.
like, the lasso, the sword, the
we
shield.
don't even see. Oh wait, the sword. Did something happen with the sword where I missed that it's been destroyed?
Yeah, remember she went to stab Ares and he put his hand out and it disintegrated?
Oh, gotcha.
That happened at the end of the first one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like she took this
But
golden
Wonder Woman
chicken
always
armor.
has a sword, right?
Golden
She's always had a
chicken
sword, a
armor.
shield, all that kind of stuff.
She went
Yeah.
back home to get it.
It's
I
not a
really
chicken, is it? It's
rewound
supposed to be like
No, it
eagle
just
or some
it looks
shit?
like a golden chicken to me. I don't know. Like the way the beat comes out, it
Yeah.
just looks like a chicken more than an eagle or whatever it's supposed
Wouldn't
to
that
be.
have been the funniest fucking left turn any movie has ever done when Wonder Woman lands and she automatically goes into like and like she's looking around and then she looks up and sees Cheetah go and like they just start fighting and Cheetah's just like doing
cats
the
and
cat
birds?
claw, and she's just like pecking at her.
Oh my gosh.
That would have been, I'd have been like, this is my favorite fucking movie. Guys, DC's finally done
And
it.
I hate bitching about movies because
Me
a
too.
lot of people worked really hard on this movie.
Did they though?
But yeah, a
Or
lot
does
of
that just show up?
a lot of people were. That's the thing. Everything about this movie is good except for the writing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Everything.
good point.
Okay. What's bad about this movie other than the writing?
Everything.
The costumes are cool.
Yep.
The sets are cool.
Yep.
The actors are good.
Yep.
So
There's no actor in this movie that I was like, I don't believe this guy. But the writing is terrible. Like, think about it. It's like, so, hey, yeah, I know you're looking for the stone. There was a guy in the park handing out pamphlets that has a book exactly on this. And he's ready for this doomsday interaction.
let's
His
show up at his
grandfather-
place for
Let's
minutes.
all just go there. And then Barbara goes from helpful to not helpful. And no, we shouldn't do this. Here's what bugged me, right? Barbara's like, no, we're not going to kill somebody because we don't know what's going on. We shouldn't do that. And Diana's like, you know what? You're right. And then they go back and it's like, Barbara? Hello? And Barbara's gone.
Well,
I'm like, oh, so where's the disconnect? I'd have been like, hey, Barbara, you were just here. I'm calling you to let you know we agree. We're not going to kill this guy. You were so right.
weird shit's happening. Barbara just disappeared. Let's just assume she turned into a bad guy.
Yeah. She's evil now. Got it.
Ah!
Yeah. Hey, guys, figured I'd let you know my evil radar went off by the door when she left, so she's evil. Bye.
What the hell's radar?
You guys like my hair? No, we don't. You're inconsequential. Is that all we got for Wonder Woman 84? I mean,
I
what
wanted
else?
I wanted to pose a question.
Okay.
Yes, I would rather watch the New Mutants again than watch this movie.
What? Because I was thinking about this. Besides Batman, have there ever been any really good superhero movies with multiple villains that's not a team-up movie? Because Batman is the only one I could think of that pulled it off. Every time, Spider-Man 3, multiple villains. Amazing Spider-Man 2, multiple villains. It just seems like every time they lean into not committing to one villain and trying to do multiple, they kind of lose their way and things start wobbling off the tracks.
Yeah. I can think of only one where there are multiple antagonists, maybe not at the same level,
Mm-hmm.
but there were multiple, and it was handled well.
What's that?
Iron Man 2 with
It was Whiplash.
and
Hammer.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Hammer.
But that was just kind of like a
Justin Hammer.
ease you into. He was really the villain in 3, but it was just kind of easing you into that.
Justin Hammer was the villain in 3?
wasn't he?
No.
I'm misremembering.
Yeah.
I'm mixing
rings,
up 2
the
and
10
3.
Rings. What's his name with the M? Oh, my God. Why can't I think of his name?
Uh,
The Mandalorian?
Oh,
No,
the
I know.
Mandarin. The
The
Mandarin.
Mandarin. Oh my god, I was so close.
Okay, never mind. I got Justin Hammer and the guy from the
L.A. Confidential.
Yeah.
Next up. Guy
Yeah,
Pearce.
I got Guy Pearce. Yeah, I got those two mixed up.
But yeah, I thought that was actually the perfect balance. Justin Hammer and Whiplash.
Okay.
But
yeah, and
but
they're
then
kind of
again,
few
like
and
a
far
team.
between.
but then again, you made an excellent point. It's kind of a team up movie because War Machine is there.
Yeah, and
That's true.
the villains are even kind of a team. I mean, they are, but they aren't. So it's like they're working together. So there's not like several different plots happening. Like you're not seeing kind of the background of this villain over here, and then the hero and the villain over here, and you're seeing all this back and forth BS
Yeah.
and shit in the background.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of working together, and those villains are building their hate and rage and
Yeah.
plan, even though they separate like at the end. So I mean, it worked better because you're seeing the heroes and you're seeing the villains kind of in forward momentum at the same time.
Like
Yeah.
Winter Soldier has multiple villains, but it has one main villain. Then it has like Batroc the Leaper, which nobody gives a shit about. Like,
Yeah.
in one scene he's gone, and
Nobody
there's a
cares
lot of
about
stuff like
Right.
that.
But you're right. Like Hydra is the overall villain, but
That's true.
it is personified in Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
And he's kind of the tip of the spear, other than Alexander Pierce.
yeah.
But I'd have to
But
say
there's just a bad track record of
Yeah, I was
multiple
gonna say,
villains.
I think that I think every Thor movie has Loki and someone, but Loki's not always the villain. And
you
the
kind of watch
someone's-
that line.
Yeah, and the someone's not always like a big villain, like the Frost Giants or whatever. It's
Right.
like it's not. They're
Laufey.
not major.
Like Thor 3 had Surtur, but that was like the first 2 minutes and the
Yeah,
last 2
I was
minutes.
gonna
and
say,
he was
and
a
Hela.
joke
Yes.
character, which
Yeah.
I can't stand. I am not, and I've told her this, a fan of Thor Ragnarok. I think we've talked about this a little
Multiple
bit too.
times.
It's just I can't. You can't take Surtur, the person who's supposed to destroy Asgard, and make him some joke pincushion that Thor's just going to go, oh, well, what's the tiara on your head? And he's like, it's a crown. Ah. Like, really?
Well, he can and he did.
Ah, well,
Well,
Taika,
buckle
Taika,
up for
answer my calls, Taika.
4. Thor 4.
I'm starting to cool on it. The more I watch Ragnarok, the more I'm like, okay.
It's a grain of salt. It's more like a this is so ridiculous, let's just make fun of it kind of thing. But Thor tends to deserve a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I agree.
well.
But you're right. There's not a lot of multiple villain movies other than the Dark Knight series
Mm-hmm.
that
The
can do
Batmans.
that.
And like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and they always have multiple villains.
We're saying movies that did well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you said good.
Hey. There's nothing wrong with Batman and Robin.
Yes, there is.
Or Batman Forever. I'm sorry. Batman and Robin, there's a lot wrong with. I mixed up my Batman movies.
Oh, the Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know about that one. So what do we think? Next week we're going to tackle Mandalorian season 2. Ryan.
Man, the way things have been going, the things I've been having to watch, I don't think I want to venture into the Mandalorian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your suggestion then? We're all
I don't know.
ears.
I'm looking at you, bud.
Yeah, we're all looking at you, Ryan. Doesn't
You
mean
wanna
we're
do
You know
gonna
right.
what we should do? We should watch Monster Hunter.
Monster
Oh,
Hunter?
Lord.
Oh,
Is
my
it out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Came
but
out
it's in
December 18th.
theaters. I'm not doing that shit.
Oh, fuck that. Let's just have 3 weeks of bad movies.
I mean,
We're starting off this new
Yeah, I was
year
gonna
on
say
the
we
right
start-
foot.
sounds about right.
So this is week 1
Yeah, this is week 1
of bad movie.
January is
bad movies?
trash movies.
Well, we're going to run out after week 2. What else can we watch?
I don't know. We'll
I
find
don't know.
another one.
Find some Batman movie.
Oh, my
Oh,
word.
shame.
That's just... You shouldn't have done that.
What's with the
Luke
bananas?
Skywalker's at the end of Mandalorian.